I'm Sandy Student. I'm one of the three authors of the 2020 Vision Study that Town Council and the Mayor undertook way back in 2009 and 2010. The result of the study was a massive 41-page document. And this was very, very telling because it's laden with pictures and recommendations. The Vision Study is really a strategic review of where the town should go, and it solicited residents and business owners. Normally, under municipal land use law, communities have to do a master plan update. Evesham chose to do 4 steps above that and do a vision study. Normally, for a master plan, you get developers, 5 to 10 people. We had more than 300 attendees at one of our 2 sessions way back when in 2009. So I'm going to take you through the process. We're then going to take a walk on Main Street and look at some updates, and I think you'll really enjoy this. This is just to let you know that there's a second study coming up in the near future, and we wanted residents to be aware of what happened the first time and to be prepared to assist us in the second time. All right, so the Vision Study was originally done because of the reconstruction at the Route 70 and 73 Marlton Circle, and that was eliminated. We got a grant from the state, and we brought in a group to help us with that, and we went and we actually did an incredible job. It's kind of like I said, when businesses do it and how to project where you want to go. And then if you look at the follow along in the 8 years since, and that's what we'll do when we walk on Main Street in a little bit, you'll see all the progress that we made. Okay, so let's talk about the Vision Study. And we had 5 goals that we set out to do. So we wanted to see if we could make Marlton Village, the Main Street area, more vibrant. We wanted to have a crossroads, so to speak, at the old circle, and we've named that the Evesham Crossroads. How we can do some things on the commercial corridors, Route 70 and 73. Can we do a trail network? And then also, how can we enhance the livability of our neighborhoods? So when you do this and you want to get input, you have to do some creative things. So we actually came up with an ad plan that asked people what their vision was for Main Street and to see how they could come and help us do that. And then we listed things that were people's favorite places, what were areas that were hot spots in town. And you'll see people here poring over maps and identifying things that they liked, things that they didn't like, things that they may have seen in other communities. And we brought pictures from around the country, from Atlanta, from Cape Cod, from Arizona, from Texas, here in South Jersey, from towns like Princeton, which is a very, very walkable community. Mashpee in Cape Cod and what they have done there. And we asked, by showing people the pictures, to tell us what they liked and they didn't like. Real quickly, let me show you what that looked like. So what you're seeing is we would project a picture, ask people if they liked it, what they didn't like it, to number it, and we collated more than 300 of these. And one session was on a Wednesday, one was on a Saturday, and we were thrilled to get input from the community. We found out the places that the community didn't like and how we could go and make progress on them. Now, I just want to give you a point of interest. If you'll remember, a lot of financial things happened in 2008, 2009, and things didn't be as agreeable to development when we set out to do the vision study in 2010. But most of the top items that people identified have been, at this point in time, either redeveloped or in their state of being redeveloped. So let's look at some things. The former township building on Main Street, we'll see that that's now a vibrant apartment. The Staples Shopping Center was redone. They added the Aldi store to it. The old bank at Cooper and Main, Again, that's been redone and it's got retail and then also some apartments above it. The former Frank's Nursery at the top of Main Street had sat abandoned for many years and it was an eyesore. That shopping center has been redone. The Sears and Superfresh, known as Tri-Town, that's now known as Renaissance, and that's becoming mixed use with residents and also retail on it. And then the former Olga site at Route 70 and 73, and that's now going to become a medical complex and a series of fertility clinics that will be built there. So what you're seeing is that the residents identified for us things that they wanted to change, and then the community actually set out to do things. Town council and the mayor and our planning department and community development spoke to developers, gave them our ideas, listened to some that they recommended. Some just frankly weren't on the table. We were in negotiations for a long time with RD Management, the people who own Tri-Town, so they could come and construct really what we wanted, a more vital mixed-use community as opposed to strictly retail. Part of what we learned was that we had to change some of our municipal land use laws because they didn't foster what residents told us they wanted, where they wanted a walkable area on Main Street, they wanted some sidewalks, they wanted to connect things with cyclists and things of that nature. The importance that you do this is so that it's strategic, you write it down, you check things, and everything falls in place behind that. The vision study is not an easy process. The document still exists at the municipal building if you want to come and look at it. It is very large, so it's kind of hard to look at online with all the photos, and it's very rich in text and things of that nature. We also demonstrated that we could have viable things happen on Main Street when we do the 4th of July parade and the 5K and the Taste of Evesham and Harvest Fest. So people really like that. Other communities don't have that. And Evesham, if you look at the period since the vision study, we have done more development than the communities around us, whether they're in Burlington County or Camden County. We also have a lot of firsts that have come here. When LL Bean looked for a store, the place in South Jersey was here. When REI looked for a store, they came here. Rastelli's opened a magnificent store, they came here. When we talk about how other things happen in Evesham first, Turning Point, North Jersey chain came here to expand first, their first place in South Jersey. So a lot of things happen in Evesham first, and part of that is our ability to work with developers and our ability to listen to the residents and what's important to those two different classes of trade. I think we also need to think that good government works here in Evesham. The municipal council and the mayor listened to what the residents had to say through a lot of time. Volunteers on the part of some people and some of the paid staff, and we came up with the way to do things in intelligent, smart growth. We've won awards for a lot of the work that we've done, some of the redevelopment, and I think you'll find when we actually go out and take a look that it's turned out pretty great. Thank you very much. Stay tuned. We're going to jog right over to Main Street now. Here we are on Main Street in the heart of what we're now calling the Marlton Village, the old part of Marlton. And one of the things that we mentioned previously is what people told us they wanted to see on Main Street when we did the initial vision study. This used to be the old municipal building, and for years it sat abandoned. There was a plan at one time to sell that into senior housing. It never materialized. And then with the guidance of town council and the vision study, we went out and we created a new apartment building. And the apartments today are just gorgeous. And I think you'll take, if we pan over here, you'll look at these new apartments. And the apartments prove that we can have redevelopment on Main Street, and then that we can also have a walking area. And walking on Main Street was one of those things that people told us they wanted from the vision study. The other thing I think I need to point out to you is that
most, if not all, no, let me correct that, all of the redevelopment that was targeted in 2010 has been done without any public money being spent. Some of them did get a tax break for some of the redevelopment, but the town did not spend public dollars on this, which is what you see happening in many larger urban areas. Evesham was smart, they have growth, and they had a plan. That strategic review was the Vision 2020 study. Now, I know that people always want to stroll along Main Street, and Rocky and I are now going to take a run up to the top of Main Street. We'll catch you in a minute. Okay, good boy. So right now we're at Main and Cooper, and this is the site of the old abandoned bank that sat with no tenants for over a decade. Remember, the whole goal of the Vision 2020 plan was to have a strategic way to redevelop certain sections of the municipality. And what it enabled us to do was to focus on something that people told us was a requirement. They wanted to have retail on the first floor and residences up top. And you know, we had to change some of our land use ordinances to fulfill that desire of the residents. When we had over 300 residents and business owners come to our vision studies, they gave us real insight and real input about how to make their town better. Vision 2020 was a phenomenal document. It was living, it was working, it was breathing. And then we had phenomenal people. Our Office of Community Development with inspectors and planning and engineering, town council, the planning board and zoning board, the mayor, all of these people contributed to helping to remake our community into what people enjoy. Rocky and I had a great run up Main Street. Now we want to show you something else where we are actually preserving history at the same time that we're remaking a thoroughfare in Evesham Township. Come on, Rock. Let's go. Forward. Rocky. Cross. Come on. I'm standing in front of the 9/11 Memorial, and this is a reminder to never let tragedy occur. On September 11, 2001, 2,996 Americans lost their lives in the worst act of terrorism that the country's ever confronted. We also had a local hero, Leroy Homer, who was the co-pilot of United Airlines Flight 93, who lived in town. To Mr. Homer and to all those others, we say, we'll never forget. This is just another symbol of why we can preserve history so the future generations know about this. The children who are coming into school today, heck, the graduates in the high school don't remember this because it happened after they were born. And so we'll never let people forget. This is also symbolic because it helps those people here have a memory of what happened in New York, in Washington and Virginia at the Pentagon, and in Western Pennsylvania. Thank you so much for taking us along with the journey and the update on the Vision 2020 study. Stay tuned. There'll be more things coming in weeks to come where we'll go and look at the community and how we've improved it in the last 10 years. Thank you so much. Rocky will be my guide on some of those too.